Hey, what up? Uh, I thought a long time about doing stand-up comedy. I think I can knock out like a 15-minute, 20-minute set. Like, wouldn't be that bad. I see a lot of people doing it, and I don't think it's that hard. So I was like, well, I could probably do stand-up comedy. So that's what I'm gonna try to do tonight, stand-up comedy. Then I thought about recording it, and I was like, fuck, I don't want to stand up that whole time. So I'm gonna do sit up comedy. Then I thought about that, and I was like, can't do a sit up because I'm too fat. So I'm like, the fuck am I gonna do then? Just straight up comedy. So I guess that's what I'm gonna do. So I can't do sit up comedy. I'm gonna do comedy, and I can't do sit up comedy because I'm too fat, like I said. And I was like, well, you know what? Like, you shouldn't be self deprecating all the time. There's a lot of cool, like, fat dudes. Like, Chris Farley was a fat dude. Everyone liked him. Fat guy, a little coat, and, like, shit like that. And then I was like, but is there, like, a real, legit fat guy that, like, encompasses everything? And it's like, that fat guy can still crush. And I was like, yeah, Jabba the Hutt, of course, the fucking fattest dude in the galaxy. And I was like, well, what gives him the fucking tools to just be the fat guy in the galaxy that is the best, number one fat guy in the galaxy? And I'm like, well, dude's got sick tongue action, like like you've seen him die. You've seen him die, so he's got that tongue game. He's got that action. And I'm like, well, what else about Jabba the Hutt? I'm like, well, he's got power, clearly. He's got all these motherfuckers. He hires Boba Fett. Like, Boba Fett's probably not cheap. He's got that weird fucking dude with the snake neck. Like that dude gave up to the power. Like, so what are we talking about here, So, I mean, Jabba was clearly on another level. Like, I mean, for God's sakes, he enslaved Leia in that fucking metal suit. You know, she was all about it, ready to get fucked. So, Jabba, number one fat guy in the entire galaxy. And then I was like, well, if we're talking about Jabba in the galaxy far, far away, like, who else can we talk about in the galaxy far, far away? Like, the number one overall pimp in the galaxy far, far away is clearly Darth Vader. Everyone knows, like, it's not up for debate. It's the guy. Darth Vader is the fucking guy in a galaxy far, far away. Or most galaxies. Like, that dude invented BBC. Like, legit. Like, that's a thing. Because of Darth Vader. Like, we don't talk about the mask coming off and it's a fucking, white guy. Like, we don't talk about it anymore. Like, it's just Darth Vader, BBC, boom. Number one in a galaxy far, far away. So then it's like, well, who else slays in a galaxy far, far away? So it ain't fucking Luke, because that guy fucking sucks. Like, I hate to be the bearer of bad news for all you Luke fans, and it's like, yo, this guy's drinking the fucking blue milk, and that's why he sucks. Like, nah. Luke sucked well before that blue milk drinking shit. Like, Luke's a bitch. He's a crybaby. Like, Luke did two cool things in his entire existence in the galaxy far, far away. Number one, he's Darth Vader's son. So, like, you're cool by proxy. Like, yeah, you're a cool guy almost by proxy. Like, everyone thinks you suck, but your dad's kind of cool, so maybe you're cool? I don't know. I don't know how that works. But I never had a cool dad, so. But, number two, get your fucking hand cut off, and you cry about it. You cry like a little bitch, alright? And that's like a Luke staple. Like, that dude constantly cries like a little bitch. Like, all the time. But, you get the fucking hand cut off, and then you get a fucking robot hand. And I mean, that's kind of fucking cool, dude. Like, So you're not the number 2 Slayer in the whole galaxy. You're not the number 3 Slayer in the whole galaxy. You're literally not on the top 5 Slayers in the entire galaxy. But you're Luke, so you get 2 cool things. So like I said, Darth Vader, number 1 pimp in the whole galaxy. Jabba, maybe the number 3 pimp in the whole galaxy. But the definite number 2 pimp in the whole galaxy is Han Solo, by far. Then I'm like, dude, like, what makes Han Solo the number 1 pimp in the galaxy? First of all, he's got a hairy ass friend, Chewie, that's would lay down life for the homie all the time. It was like, that's my boy. We stole ships together. It's my ride or die. Chewie is the ride or die. I don't care what you think about Leia. Chewie is the ride or die. Forever. That's it. And what else makes Han pretty cool? I mean, motherfucker has one of the coolest lines in the entire epiphany of movies. You know, when she's straight-eyed, and this is like a thing for like dudes. Like, this is a modern day cinephile training shit. And dudes will always complain like, oh man, like, we don't know how to get chicks. Like, Han Solo laid it out for you like 45 years ago, 50 years ago. You know, the girl goes, I love you. And you just go, I know. That's it. That's all you gotta do. Crushed it. You know what makes you crush it even harder? Your ass gets fucking frozen in carbonite. You stand there, you do the pose, like, I mean, that kind of gives you free reign across the entire galaxy. You know, once you get out of that carbonite, you're crushing puss. Just non-stop crushing across the entire galaxy, far, far away. So, Han is the definite number 2 Slayer in the galaxy, far, far away. So you got Vader, Han, Jabba. Luke ain't even top 5 then. But then you just bring up Boba Fett and you're like, dude, that guy kind of sucks. Like, he was Jabba's bitch. And they're like, yeah, you were like literally this dude's bitch for like almost the entire time that you're in this series. Until we make this fucking show and it's like, oh yeah, like you might be cool in the show. But you're not, you suck. So, in a galaxy far, far away, like Han Solo, Harrison Ford is crushing it. But then you extrapolate that. Like, Harrison Ford was a crusher just non-stop. Like, Hollywood royalty, this fucking guy. So you're like, well, Harrison Ford, like, this dude's got Han Solo, you know, maybe the number 1 cool Harrison Ford character. But then you're like, dude, Harrison Ford's got so many cool characters. Like, he's Indiana Jones. So Indiana Jones gotta be number 2, right? And you're like, wait a minute. Like, Indiana Jones might have been number 2. But then you break down the shit. You're like, Indiana Jones, fucking scared of snakes. Sucks. You suck if you're scared of snakes. You know, if you're a fucking archaeologist and you're scared of snakes, like, yo, like, you suck. Number 2, like, Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull, like, that movie fucking blows. Like, everyone knows that movie sucks, you know. And then what makes that movie suck even harder is this dude survives nuclear fallout in the refrigerator. Like, maybe cool, probably not cool. Like, kind of sucks. Then what else makes Indiana Jones suck? Well, the thing for me is that Indiana Jones' dad is a crusher. You know, I don't know if he's number 2 or 3 crusher in the galaxy far, far away. Crusher. Sean Connery, crusher. Indy, Junior. You're dead to rights, bro. We're talking about fucking 007 here. We're talking about Highlander's mentor. Like, that's some serious shit. All right. Highlander's mentor. You're the guy, you're Highlander's mentor. Like, pretty fucking cool. We're talking about Untouchables. Cool. Slayer. Total Slayer. And Indiana Jones is your son. You know, he's like Luke level. Like, could be a Slayer. Not a Slayer when your dad is that fucking cool. So, but that's where we put Harrison Ford. So we're talking about Harrison Ford. You know, we're talking about Han Solo #1. But I said we can't put Indiana Jones #2, but we can put Deckard at #2. It's a character that he fucks robots. This fucking guy, you can tell when motherfuckers are lying to him just by the look in their fucking eyes. Like, that's some serious shit. That's some cold-blooded shit. Like, that should count for something. And then he's cool across 2 movies, you know. Because when you finally see Deckard in Blade Runner 2049, motherfucker's only dude in Vegas. No one else survived in Vegas. Like, that's kind of fucking cool. So, Deckard #2. So you're like, well, Indy, it's gotta be #3. And then I was like, let's pump the fucking brakes. Because Harrison Ford was also the president in Air Force One. And he has the line, "Get off my plane." It's a great line. So, the president has one fucking line, maybe the whole fucking movie, and he's third coolest Harrison Ford character. So you're like, well, fuck. Indy's #4, I guess. Then you pump the brakes again. And you're like, Harrison Ford was the fucking dude from The Fugitive. You know, not the coolest dude in that whole movie. Clearly, emotionless ass Tommy Jones is the coolest dude in the whole movie. When he hits him with, "I didn't murder my wife," he goes, "Oh, I don't care." Done. Dead. Hit. But Harrison Ford, right behind that emotionless motherfucker. So, I think that's kind of fucking cool. So, I mean, Harrison Ford, though, is like fucking movie royalty. Like, he's got so many just big parts, dude. I mean, it's huge, you know. But then you rewind it back, and this is the thing that hurts the legacy a little bit. Because then we get into the new trilogy, Star Wars. You know, we get into 7 through 9. And it's like, Han Solo's crushing it. #2 biggest pimp in the galaxy. But his son is fucking Ben Solo. And that dude fucking blows. That guy sucks so fucking hard. I mean, aside from him having a cool fucking lightsaber, like, there's literally, it's just, that's it. It's done. It's nothing. You know, your mask sucks. You know, you suck. You take the mask off, you suck, you cry. But you're Han Solo's boy, Ben. So, I mean, you gotta have some redeeming qualities, you know, just by proxy, by blood. Then you kill your old man, and Chewie. Sad Chewie, dude. Anyone that depresses Chewie in this shit, like, sucks. That sucks, bro. So, Ben Solo, garbage character, garbage series. But we'll just give Han Solo the fucking #1 Harrison Ford credit. And there we are from there. And then I think about, well, you know, what other cool movies do we have, like, from that time period? Like, you know, 70s, 80s. And, like, the 80s was fucking all about, like, compadre comedies, you know. You couldn't find a movie, Monster Squad, Goonies, All these movies are just about homies just going out and finding shit, dude. Like, we found some shit, all right? You don't have that anymore. You don't have homies. Homies don't even talk to each other half the time. Homies just badmouth their homies, just make memes off of their homies. Like, it's a different homie game, But the 80s was the epitome of fucking homeboys. You had the motherfucking Goonies, like I said. You had the Monster Squad. You had the fucking Brat Pack. They were homies. They were balling out the same girls, but they're Eskimo homies. That's kind of fucking, it's cool, I guess. I don't know. It was cool then. It was cool in the fucking 80s. Rob Lowe was cool in the 80s. Did a lot of fucking drugs, but I digress. But you had, so to me, the two 80s movies that are the epitome of 80s movies, it's the fucking Lost Boys, first of all, and it's Stand By Me. It's number 1 and 2 of the epitome of the bro movies. Like, that's it. And then I'm like, well, how do I come up with this ranking of Stand By Me being the epitome of the Hallmark movies? Because Lost Boys, like, let's boil it down. Like, Lost Boys is fucking awesome. Like, if you don't like Lost Boys, I don't even know what the fuck you're doing, dude. You don't like fucking leather jackets. You don't like hanging out. You don't like vampires. You just suck. You're just not an 80s dude. But the thing that sucks about Lost Boys is there's two huge glaring weaknesses to me about Lost Boys. And the first one, right out the gate, you see it. It's that the homie, fucking Bill and Ted homie. There he is. I'm like, what are you doing hanging out with the Lost Boys, dude? Like, Alex Winter, what are you doing? Like, you're the third coolest dude in the Lost Boys? You might be the fourth coolest dude in the Lost Boys. You're the dude that just gets upstage right out the gate when they're like, yo, this dude Jason Patrick is awesome. And he's not turning yet, but he's the new second coolest homie. And they're like, well, who do you replace? I'm like, well, clearly the dark-haired homie, not the Kiefer Sutherland blonde mullet homie, and that's the number 1 homie. But clearly that goofy-ass number 2 homie, like, no one even knows who the fuck that guy is, but we know that dude is way cooler than Alex Winter, curly-head homie. I mean, he's the fucking dude that just drives them around in the daytime, when they can't fly around. Like, we just have you on deck so you could just give us rides. Like, that sucks, man. Like, you were way cooler in Bill and Ted. And to me, I'm like, Bill and Ted is such an enduring film. Like, still, then again, you're the second coolest dude in Bill and Ted. Like, Keanu Reeves, pretty fucking cool. But you're number 2. You have to be. Maybe number 3, Socrates is pretty fucking awesome in that movie. Like, if you've ever seen Bill and Ted, like 80s movies, you're like, yo, Socrates is the homie. And then Ted is the homie. But Bill is the third homie. Might not even be the third homie, because then you bring Death into it. And Death is like the third homie. So this motherfucker is not even the third coolest dude in either one of these movies. That's what I'm telling you. That's what makes Lost Boys fucking suck. The number 2 thing that makes fucking Lost Boys suck is that the main villain is revealed. And, I don't even know if this is a spoiler at this point. We're talking about a movie that's almost 40 years old, 30, 40 years old, like. But I was born in 1987. And so I didn't see Lost Boys until I was like, I don't know, 13, 14 years old. And by then, I'd sure as fuck seen a movie called Richie Rich. Fuck yeah, I saw Richie Rich, dude. It's my homie from Home Alone. Homie Alone. And then motherfucker, now he owns a theme park. You know, he's got a locator for his dad and his mom. He's the coolest dude. He's got a butler. That's pretty fucking cool, man. But the glaring weakness of this whole thing is that his fucking dad, the dad from Richie Rich, the dude that's like, yo, I'll build you a fucking theme park in the backyard. Motherfucker is the main villain in the Lost Boys, dude. Like, come on, man. It's just a detriment to the fucking Lost Boys when you got the fucking main villain being dad from Richie Rich. Like, that sucks. And no one wants to see that shit. But I digress. There is one saving grace of the Lost Boys. And it's when they're at the fucking amusement park and they're all hanging out. They're hanging out upside down afterwards. You know, they're doing their thing. You know, they're swapping girlfriends. You know, whatever the fuck they gotta do. But at the fucking amusement park, they've got a motherfucker mulleted out. Jeans cut. No shirt. You know, like, this is the coolest. This dude looks like Billy Ray Cyrus. Like, the epitome of what Billy Ray Cyrus could have been. And they're like, what are you going to do with this motherfucker? And I'm like, this motherfucker going to play sax. You know how you're fucking hot boy. You might be the biggest poon slayer in the galaxy. Because you wear fucking jeans, you got a fucking mullet, and you play fucking sax for Vampire Boys, dude. That is the ultimate. Like, you're killing it. You fucking killed it, dude. That's like one of the most redeeming qualities of that movie. The Lost Boys. The Brutus the Barber Beefcake sax player. That fucking guy. I wish I knew where that homie was today. Because I would shake his hand. I'd give him a little fucking 2 quarters in his hat. There's no doubt he's playing on the streets, but to redeem that fucking movie. But that's why I say that's the number 2 movie from the 80s. And I say number 1 is Stand By Me. The number 1 compadre comedy. I guess you call it a comedy. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how funny it's when you boil it down. You know, all the people in that fucking movie. River Phoenix, dead. You know, all these motherfuckers. Josh Brolin, old. You know, Corey Feldman, inconsequential. You know, wearing glasses. Like, what the fuck? Like, but I mean, that's a Stephen King. Stephen King wrote that fucking short story that's based on. Like, people don't know, like, oh, like, Stand By Me is a cool movie. You know, the Brat Pack kids are in it, blah, blah, blah. Like, nah. This is a Stephen King fucking story. Like, and you're like, well, what differentiates it from other stories? You know, how would I know this was the 80s Stephen King story? I'm like, the motherfuckers find a dead body. Like, that's the premise of the fucking movie. Like, we're hanging out in the woods. We didn't find a box of porn. Found a dead body. And then I'm like, dude, that's legit 80s, early 90s shit. Like, you couldn't do that nowadays. You couldn't make a movie nowadays like Stand By Me. Could you imagine a fucking modern day Stand By Me? It's just a bunch of fucking douchebag kids that don't know shit about each other. Like, we're just related because we go to school. You know, we're all hanging out. You know, and then they fucking stumble upon a dead body, and you're like, holy shit, what are we gonna do right now? I'll fucking tell you what they're gonna do right now, dude. All these motherfuckers just pull their cameras out, you know, wide angles, and just fucking, you know, everything. Like TikTok. We're going live. We're going live on Twitter. We're going live on Instagram. Just, the movie, it's a 20-minute movie. You know, and 10 minutes of it is just set up. where these kids are just like, yeah, whatever, like, hang out with this fucking douchebag right now, I guess. I don't know. He likes the same games as me, streams like me. Then they stumble upon this dead body, and you're like, what the fuck? And then they're just all filming, angles with the dead body. That's the whole fucking movie. It has nothing to do with camaraderie. It doesn't have shit to do with shit. Like, fucking movie sucks, dude. That movie would suck. And I know most people want to punch Corey Feldman in the fucking face. Like, modern day. But they made that movie nowadays, like, Corey Feldman is getting his ass whooped. Like, Corey Feldman is the fucking dead body that they find. They're like, we had this guy that we went to school with, found his dead body, we filmed it up. 100,000 likes. Viral video. It's just us finding Corey Feldman's dead ass. What are you going to do? But it's just, they just don't make them like they used to, It is what it is, man, but, I miss that camaraderie. I miss that stumbling upon dead bodies in the woods, I guess. I don't know. I never stumbled upon a fucking dead body in the woods. I stumbled upon a box of porn in the woods, and it was fucking awesome. One of the greatest days of my whole life, but, it belongs to some fucking creepy neighbor that's just fucking, oh man, I took out the wrong box, it was garbage, but I took it out, threw it out, and then, that's like life-defining shit, dude. You stumble upon a box of goodies. And then and then it's even better, it's even more life-affirming when you know who that box fucking belongs to, that creepy guy up the hill. Like, we fucking know who he is. I found your fucking box, you weirdo. It's solid gold, dude. Hey, I told you I was going to do a hot 2015. I did a hot 27. So if you liked it, you can fucking send me $6. Let's even the playing field here. Venmo, lights only cast, $6. If you fucking hated it, hit me up with the reverse Venmo, $6. I'm not gonna fucking pay you, but you could try. So, adios, homies.